When I set out to make this video, what I was expecting to say was that I love this skate, it looks brilliant, it's incredibly comfortable and it feels great on the roll. But that really, the narrow sole kit and the lack of any backslide play basically means that there's just much better options out there in 2021. And then I skated them, and I changed my mind. So I really enjoyed that session on the Salomon Aggressive skates. I normally only use this boot for big wheel blading, and I was really surprised with how well it performed. I'm going to explain a little bit about why that is as the video goes on, but let's just get a brief overview of the skate. So this is a Salomon ST8, and this one is one of the 1995 versions, one of the first that actually came out. I've made quite a few changes to it, so I've taken off the one-piece sole kit, used the later UFS Salomon soles, and obviously added the Sola Joe Atkinson frame. Also, I have replaced the liner and the shock absorber from a model that came out a little bit later, just because the originals were pretty much turned to dust. So in terms of the liner, it's incredibly comfortable, which is, no secret when it comes to Salomon skates. The foam it's really nice and thin, but quite dense. It's responsive, and I like the plastic tongue at the front, which just helps to reduce any kind of pressure coming from the buckle as well. The only downside that I found is that they do get quite hot, and because they're not as well ventilated as something like the integrated liner on my adapts, for example, which your feet definitely stay a lot cooler in, but definitely a really comfortable liner. In terms of the shock absorbers, you're quite lucky if you can find a set that haven't turned to dust, but these ones are in great condition, and they give a bit of a forwards lean, but they give a really smooth ride and iron out the bumps really nicely. In terms of the shell, it's no secret that I love the shell. It's really supportive, but it's got a really nice kind of stable flex to it as well. And I really like that they buried the heel quite far back, which gives the illusion that the skate is kind of shorter than it is. And the lacing system is one of the best, I think, that's ever hit the market, with the way that the lace kind of locks at the top, which just keeps the tension on there really, really nicely. In terms of the sole kit, it is quite narrow, but it slides incredibly well. It's got quite a low surface area and a really kind of nice dense plastic that they've used on there as well. But a really good sole kit. It is quite narrow, and I did find that made it more challenging to topside than on my adapts, for example, and that was definitely kind of one of the drawbacks. But where this skate really shone, and this is what surprised me, is the backslide play. And I was expecting that it would just be impossible to kind of get down on groove tricks. But what I found is that once you do get boot down, it locks you in place really nicely, which just makes Royales and Savannahs just much easier, which was the opposite kind of to what I was expecting. I don't think I would have been able to do that true Savannah in my adapts, just because it just doesn't hold me in that groove as well. And I think that's why we could take a second look at this skate in 2021 because it does perform so well for groove tricks. I think that It's a skate that I wouldn't recommend for beginners, on the other hand, because you do have to get so far down. I don't think that this would be a great skate to learn on, so I think definitely look elsewhere if you're just getting into skating. But I think if you're already well established with your, with your groove tricks, I think this is definitely something that's worth looking at. I think for transition skating, this skate really shines because the sole kit is quite narrow. It just makes it, really agile. You can carve, much more deeply in the bowl without having the kind of cumbersome wings of a wider sole plate getting in the way. And for that reason, I can really see why a skater like, Joe Atkinson, for example, really enjoys this skate. So I was surprised with how well this performed, and to answer my own question, I think this definitely is still gold for aggressive skating in 2021 for the reasons I've outlined. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit thumbs up if you did get some value, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more blading content. Also, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this skate? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And if you do love it, what do you use it for? Aggressive or big wheel? I'm Chris Chadwick of Keep Rolling. Thanks for watching. See you next time.